Hello everyone, or no one, and welcome to Daryl Gaming. I'm a band gamer, and I played World of Warcraft, The War Within, and I found this. It's...
Excellent.
At least so far. Let's applaud cheeky marketing strategy. I was determined to not buy the 3-day early access option, but then I noticed the early access was on a Friday and the main release on a Monday. I was able to withstand it all the way until 5 minutes before the early release, and my brain just went, shut up and take my money. Magni gets his Matrix moment, but is it a good moment? Yay! Or the bad moment? Boo! So, does this mean Azeroth is the one and World of Warcraft is the Matrix? Oh my god! It seems like we no longer ever have to enter this state.
Only one kind. Whoever this person is, he has played World of Warcraft nearly every hour of every day for the past year and a half. Gentlemen, we are dealing with someone here who has absolutely no life.
And...
now we can finally play the game. Oh yeah.
and of course, all praise the trolley. Boy, it's so fun. Please make the radius of light a little bit smaller. Please. Bigger isn't always better. Scamming! I mean, scaling.
So, I've been playing World of Warcraft for 20 years now, and I'm still excited with a new expansion coming. I consider myself a super duper casual player these days, where my goal is in general just clear the raid, do some M pluses until I have around heroic item level gear, and then if the game is good, I keep playing or switch to some alternative characters, or if the game is bad, like Shadowlands, I stop playing quite fast. So it depends on how good the game feels to play, if I keep playing it a lot or not. This is probably the most blind I've ever been going into an expansion of World of Warcraft. I deliberately stayed away from alpha, beta, and content creators that makes World of Warcraft stuff. I glanced on a few things that Blizzard officially announced, and that was that. So I basically knew that we were going to get to level 80 and that we will get something called hero talents. The hero talents are mainly some passive stuff that adds some flavor to your spec. As usual, it feels really nice for some and not that good for others. Warbands is what they call their system to make things more account-wide, such as reputations and some currencies and also some loot that is account-wide. This feels so good, and it feels really strange that this is in WoW. We are so used to farm the same stuff over and over again for each character to get the rep or the same rewards or stuff like that. Now if I feel like playing my mage and do some world quests on that one, my entire account get the reputation. I like to PvP on my warrior, which usually tends for him to having a lot of honor that he doesn't really need. And if I want to try PvP on another character, I can just transfer some honor from this warrior over to that character, and then I can buy the starter PvP set and have a little bit better time in the battlegrounds. So this system is so far a really, really big win for me, and it makes the game really respect my time. I knew we were getting something called delves. that is content for solo players up to a group of 4 players. This seems fine so far. It's Warcraft, so it's don't stand in stuff and kill stuff. Good for the solo players to have something to do, though I think it's more fun with 2 or 3 people, where you can divide into some tasks and try some really degenerate stuff together. It's an MMO after all. But it's nice to have something to do if you don't feel like doing a Mythic Plus or anything else group related. I also knew that they were going to add some crab mode for those with the fear of spiders. So this made me think, how many spiders are we actually going to face in the future? I also knew that this time it's going to be a more story-focused expansion. This is the start of the World Soul Saga that will last over several expansions. So this made me think a little bit on how to approach the game. One wise guy, not me, once said that you should play the game the way it wants you to play, to give it a fair chance, and not play the game how you want it to be played. For instance, if you really love a game, let's say Call of Duty, then another game comes out that's like Call of Duty but has some other features and a different style. If you play the game the same way as you play Call of Duty, you are probably not having a good time and you're not really giving the game a fair chance to shine. If you don't like to play the game it's intended to play, that's absolutely fine, and you can go back to Call of Duty, because that is the game you like to play. But at least you gave the game a fair chance. So this made me think, how can I do this in World of Warcraft? So I'm like most WoW players. Quests, that is an NPC I have to click, and I have an add-on that deals with accepting and turning in the quest in a blink of an eye. Then I just follow the marker to a place where I just kill the mobs or fill the bar or pick up things that is sparkling. And then I return to the NPC and I repeat. Now, as story is the selling point of the game, I wanted to approach it a bit like an RPG. So again, add-ons to the savior. I used this add-on that does this, and I decided to read all the quest texts and listen to all the stay a while and listen. And it was actually a really good experience. I'm also excited to see what's next, because according to Chris Metzen, he said this is only the beginning. It's meant to ramp up over time. So far a good start. Gameplay-wise, it's pretty much the same as Dragonflight. I really like the gameplay in Dragonflight, so once you get good gear and stuff, things can start to get quite fast in some specs. I'm a really old man, and some specs and situations are too fast-paced for me. But in the early expansion, that's not really a problem, because you have bad gear and you can learn slow and steady. Some classes is like the sky around midnight on New Year's Eve, where everything just lights up and you have to press absolutely everything all at once. And some classes have a more steady rotation. So the way the classes are now, I think there's a spec for absolutely everyone to enjoy. I think the music of this expansion is absolutely amazing. I think the zones looks quite good. Yes, we are mostly in caves, but it doesn't really feel like it. The zone Hallowfall looks just absolutely amazing, and I really hope they are cooking up something really cool with what we learned in this zone. So I think the start of this expansion have been really good. It's been a really slow, nice paced, where I can just level up my characters, test them out, figure out who's going to be my main, do all the quests, fix my professions, get my characters ready, do some content in a nice, steady pace. It feels really good to not have any power to grind, so if you skip a day or two, you don't fall behind. That feels really nice. Things being account-wide, super nice. So a really good start, and now I just hope that the raid and the Mythic Plus is really good as well. Then this will be a very good start for the World Soul Saga. But do I have some concerns for the future? Yep I do. First up is Mythic Plus. They made some changes to the difficulty in Mythic Plus in the last season of Dragonflight. It was a necessary change, I think. They basically removed Mythic 2 to 9 and made Mythic series close to a Mythic 10 in difficulty. And I fear now with the new expansion and new dungeons, this gap in difficulty is going to be quite a shit show. Now that nobody really knows what to do in the dungeons. In Dragonflight, most people knew kinda what to do in the dungeons, so it went kinda fine. This time it's brand new dungeons, so it's going to be fun to see if this will be a shit show or it will be actually kinda nice. The next concern I have is about the story. And if they're able to tie the future events into what has happened so far. If we assume they are going to follow the same patch cycle as Dragonflight, then we will have a patch 11.05 and on 11.07 before we get on 11.1. Patch 11.05 is going to be the 20th anniversary for World of Warcraft, so it's probably not going to bring the story any further or start building up for the next events that's coming. So that probably won't happen until we get the 11.07, and that one has to be really meaningful and do a really good job on building up to what's going to happen in 11.1, because so far in the expansion we've had like 4 zones and pretty much everything we have done is dealing with Salatat and the troubles she has been giving us with the Nerubians and stuff like that. And if we assume we get one new zone in patch 11.1, then they have to do a really good job in 11.07 and 11.1 to build up the tension and make it really exciting for the next bosses or raid or whatever we are going to deal with, because it's going to be such a shorter time for them to build it up. Also, I really hope that they're able to tie what's happened so far in the story with what's coming next. I have a sneaking feeling that that's not going to happen. I fear it's going to be kind of sort of a little bit a random event that's going to happen. That some goblins or some weird stuff like that suddenly decides to attack and say, "Hey, we want your machines now." But they have been there for thousands of years already. Why now? So I really hope they are able to do a good job to tying what's happened so far and progress the story, not just kind of make a new chapter with something else and then we'll come back to Salatat. The end of the main campaign we have so far, we finally give some issues to Salatat by destroying or damaging the Dark Heart, and it feels like we are going to have a break from her. But I hope not. I hope she's one step ahead, and when patch 11.07 comes, she already scheming new things and still keeps causing us trouble. That would be really good, but I have a sneaky feeling that's not going to happen. So, good expansion so far. Excited for the future. So, Internet, this was my 2 cents of World of Warcraft, The War Within so far. And I bid you farewell.